What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. I bring my boy MG back. We got to talk about this CW crossover. What's it called? War on Earth X or whatever.
A crisis on
Crisis on Earth X.
On Earth X. Yeah.
And it's the big CW crossover event they've been doing yearly. Of course, this includes Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, pretty much all those characters coming together. And we're gonna talk about it. It's pretty much 4 parts. Arrow came on Monday. Arrow came on Monday, so it was Supergirl, Arrow, then Legends, and Flash came on Tuesday. So it was a 4-part. They pretty much treated it like a movie. I'm gonna say, of course we're gonna talk about story, pretty much everything, Easter eggs, everybody that was there. I'm gonna talk about what I didn't like, and I think this shit was below average, honestly. And there's some good things in it, but there's so much that the bad to me detracts from the good that you did see. The action scenes, good. Oh, and by the way, there will be spoilers, so if you made it up to this point, warning, spoilers. So click off the video, go watch it, then come back to this video. Okay, the premise of the story is, everybody gets together for Barry's wedding. Supergirl from her Earth. The Legends, even across time. They still were able to get the memo. Of course, Arrow, Oliver, Felicity, and everybody involved with that. They all get an invitation to Barry's wedding. That's pretty much what the first episode really, the first part really encompasses. Just them setting up the wedding and everything. Then of course, they set up the villain, who you find out it's Nazis from Earth X. You find out there are 52 Earths, so the new 52 thing was there. Find out it's the 53rd Earth, which no one goes there, and it's called Earth X. And Nazis rule that Earth, and you got an evil Oliver, you got an evil Supergirl, and Eobard, who apparently cannot be killed at all because the guy finds a way to keep coming back. But you pretty much start the story from there. They're pretty much trying to invade Earth 1. They come there, they freaking destroy the wedding, attack everyone. You get a really nice fight scene to start out, and it was looking really good, from the jump. And that pretty much really sets up story. It's pretty much a cross universe thing where one universe has the bad guys or evil versions of some of your main superheroes, and they're trying to take over this Earth. So that's the premise of the story. And you try to find out, while you're watching it, you try to find out, okay, what's their entire motive or whatever. Obviously, just because they're fucking Nazis or whatever. So the story to me set up simple, wasn't bad. I like an evil Oliver who's willing to kill, because it really started out, you saw him fighting a guy early on, and he killed him. He killed a bunch of guys. I was like, okay, that's cool. It kind of reminds me of Oliver from season 1, where he was willing to kill. He didn't give a damn. You failed this city, arrow through the chest. You find out later, of course, about Supergirl and details of. You find out the reason that she is, that one of the reasons that they are there, and besides trying to take over their Earth. Now, to me, what really takes away from this, crossover event is Felicity. The Felicity Oliver thing, garbage. That's what kept me. That's what made me stop watching Arrow. What was it? MG season 3, 4, where they really start. It was terrible. Now if they're going back to that route when this season has been solid and last season ended well, it's a mistake. It's a big mistake. When they went away from that relationship, the show got better. So hopefully they're not going back to it, but it just seems like it in this crossover. Also, I don't like the Iris Felicity beating up trained Nazis who are twice their size. Now, if they would have outsmarted them, you get it from Felicity. She's really smart. But for them to go up there and just take their guns from it just, I know it's a superhero movie, superhero show or whatever, but it's just like, come on. They have no training in combat. Get the fuck out of here. So that really annoyed me. Or if they were snuck and rescue someone who could fight, and they beat the guys up. Okay, someone with powers. Okay, I get that. But the fact that they've really been pushing those two so hard in these two shows, pushing Felicity hard in Arrow, pushing Iris hard. At least Felicity, she has hacking ability. She's a great hacker. She's smart. What the hell can Iris do? Looking at it, what can she do? I mean, she looks fucking good on the screen. I give you that. But
write a paper.
That's it. Write a paper. She's not smart. She's not. They treating her like the leader. She's not the smartest. She has no powers. She has no fighting abilities. So everybody else that's like main characters are more qualified. Even homeboy that Stretch, who wasn't even in the crossover. I don't understand why, because he would have added some comedy to it. I don't understand why he wasn't there. Even he's more qualified to be a leader. At least he was a cop at one point. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get she's an important part of, Barry's story or whatever. I don't like that the way she's being pushed on, the viewers. Also, they didn't really focus. It was the whole reason everyone came together was because of the wedding. Why didn't they focus on Barry and Iris? They focused on Felicity and Oliver, a relationship we don't want to see. We don't mind seeing the Barry Iris one, but Felicity and Oliver is one we don't want to see. We've seen that trash. Another one. Why is Cisco thrown in the background yet again? Yet again. It's been like that the entire season of Flash, and it's really hurt the season. What else?
And a big surprise, the best episode this year was when it was focused on him. The episode with Danny Trejo.
Yep. Well, like, I don't even. Oh yeah, because that's what they were trying to find. Pretty much the other metahumans. So I don't understand why he's like one of your main characters. He already got Iris. Pretty much took his place as like, because he's pretty much the guy that relays information. Iris took his place. Why? I don't get that shit. Girl power and all this bullshit. Fuck all that, man. Do I care about that? He was great in the role. We loved him in that role. But they seem to really push that shit to the side in this season. Other things I didn't like. I didn't really care for Supergirl or her relationship, even though that wasn't pushed as hard, really. Early on, they talked about it a little bit, whatever. Man, I don't care about, like, I'm really starting to get sick of all this love crap. It's going to be talked about, but you had, like, just get the fucking tissue paper out. How much they talked about their relationship and shit. Mine's kind of drawing a blank right now. Let me see. Other things I didn't like.
Captain Cold.
Oh God, I thought I forgot. I didn't like. I'm gonna be frank with you. I ain't like the homo stuff. This dude kissing another dude, I don't like that shit. Now, if it was a chick kissing another chick, I like that because I like women. Simple. So anybody say, oh, they got women kissing women, okay. I mean, MG, you got a problem with women kissing women?
Nope.
Exactly. But a dude kiss, I got so that was the last episode. That was the fourth part. I got so I almost cut it off. I think MG, you did cut it off. I was really close. I was really close because I think they focus more on relationship shit than the actual confrontation, like them going against that other world. And people say, well, yeah, that kind of ties into it because they're trying to protect their loved ones. But just watch it. Just watch how fucking mushy that shit is throughout each of the parts. Like I said, there's some good. The whole Stein part, that was probably one of the better parts in the show in terms of emotion, because coming into it, that was completely unexpected. We thought he would, kind of like retire or whatever. He was gonna outright die. So I think that came as a surprise, and honestly, I think that was the third. Was that the third episode?
End of the third.
Yeah. So I felt as though that was definitely one of the better parts of it. But I think it was just way too much mushy stuff in there that, it just really got annoying to me, honestly. What about you?
Well, I mean, stuff all you mentioned bothered me. The fact that Barry was such a small part of this entire crossover.
Sickening.
Small part. What was it? The second or third episode where you barely even seen him.
Let's see. Second episode was shit. Can't remember what happened on the second episode.
That's when they were trying to figure out what was going on. That's when they remember they had got Prometheus or Tommy Merlin, aka.
Yeah. Barry wasn't. Yeah, that was mostly focused on Oliver and Felicity, really.
Yeah, it was the Arrow episode, but like even just throughout the entire thing, like the only time Barry was the focus was when they was talking about the wedding. Like this man ain't the strongest. I mean, the second strongest out of those characters next to Supergirl, obviously, but this was supposed to be a Flash thing, and it ended up being a Arrow Supergirl thing. I didn't like that. I hated the fact that Cisco has played the background all season. No Joe West. They got rid of him early.
Yeah, like where was he at? Like, you're trying to tell me that Iris and Felicity can fight Nazis, but not Joe?
Yeah.
Not his gonna be baby mom, who's also a cop as well.
Yeah, and I think with such a and I think this has hurt Flash. The combination of Wells, Joe, and Cisco, they keep that show and the characters on that show grounded.
Yep.
And I think with those three taking a background, you see how it's hurt the show. Yep. Joe's usually the voice of reason. And Cisco is the emotion of the show, and Harry is the, fuck it, kill them all. It's, you know what I'm saying? They all represent three things that kind of, it pulls everything together for the show. And they've taken such a huge background in comparison to previous seasons that's hurt the show. I didn't like the fact that Alex was such a big part of the crossover.
Alex.
I'm Supergirl's sister.
Yeah. I honestly thought she was going to be background. Then they see, that was another thing. They started focusing on her relationship. Man, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and then you had the whole fucking scene with all the heroes walking and shit in the battle and shit, and she's up there with them. Everybody else got powers and shit, or is like assassins or some shit, and here she is walking out there. Why? You're telling me it's more important to have her there instead of Cisco? And look, fucking Supergirl at this point with Kara and Alex, every fucking episode at this point is about heartbreak. I don't care. Punch somebody.
Yep, that's what I want to see. I'm one for story. You put a story in there, and it gives the fight meaning. But at this point, all these shows are really, it's really starting to be like a turnoff in terms of just watching the shows, enjoying the shows, with all this love shit, this feminist woman power. Because you literally had an episode of Flash where it was, what was it, Iris?
That was the bachelor parties.
Yeah, Iris, Felicity. What was Joe? Caitlin was there, right? Yeah, Caitlin was there.
Yeah, Iris, Felicity, Caitlin, and Cecile.
Yeah, they were all there, and they were talking about girl power and shit. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, honestly, what can Iris do? All those other characters can probably do something. Cecile's a cop. She has some kind of training. Felicity is much.
She didn't even do that much in the episode because she's pregnant.
Yeah,
character wise, so they had her back into our laps.
Felicity, smart. Okay, she can do something. Caitlin, Killer Frost. And when she's not Killer Frost, she's smart. What can Iris do? I keep asking that question. What can Iris do? She's one of the more useless characters in terms of. Now, she's important in terms of being that anchor to Barry, to kind of anchor him, to kind of ground him. But other than that, she provides nothing else to the team. Just based on her skill set, she provides nothing else to the team. I like the actress, but the character-wise, provides really nothing.
And there's been a theme this year with her. Don't bring Barry out of the Speed Force. Well, they brought him back. DeVoe's not the guy. Well, DeVoe is the guy. Like,
she's been wrong just about every fucking thing she said.
What is she bringing to the table?
Nothing. Stupid opinions. And she's literally, this guy's been Flash for pretty much 3 seasons, and she's trying to tell him what to do. Remember that one episode when they went to marriage counseling or whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Couples counseling. And she kind of was telling him what to do. And he was like, yeah. What could you tell him that he doesn't already know?
Yep.
I understand if it was Cisco, Harry. They've been around. They know how his powers work. But her? Okay. It's been really annoying with her.
Is it weird? Is it weird to you that Flash is less powerful this year than he has in other years?
Yeah.
Like, the first episode when he came back and he went to save Iris from the samurai, from the samurai. Okay, when they clocked him running, they said, "Yeah, he's never ran this fast before." Cool, but ever since then, he's less powerful than he's ever been.
Yep. He tends to job a lot. He jobs to some really corny dudes. Supergirl does that shit too. They job to some really corny. At least Supergirl was fighting another Supergirl and Flash was fighting Eobard. So it's like, yeah. Even though at this point, if he's faster than he's ever been, and he was fighting people faster than Eobard, he should have fucking easily beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already fought Zoom. Zoom's more powerful than Eobard. Savitar was more powerful. What's the deal? What's the deal? Why didn't you? I mean, he ended up beating him, of course, but why did you struggle so much? You know.
Exactly, and he didn't even. He wasn't even the one to necessarily beat Savitar 100% either.
Nope.
So, but they've made Barry as a character play into the background so much at this point that it's annoying. No Diggle.
No, yeah. At least he had a legit reason, character wise.
Yeah, but I still think they should have, because here's the thing: he's the Joe of Arrow.
Yeah, and they found a way to leave both those anchor characters out. Like, go watch that first. Like, I feel as though Invasion was better.
Way better.
Invasion was way better, and this one had more potential than Invasion because of you having the evil doppelgangers. But they found a way to fuck that up by even incorporating a relationship with some of those characters, with evil Oliver and evil Kara. Like, why? I mean, it gave him another reason. Like, you saw them talking about if he has to choose the Reich or her, who's he gonna choose? And she was like, she was gonna force him to choose, or blah blah. That didn't even come to pass. She still didn't even hold true to that. So the whole thing with her was, there was another reason they were coming there, and that was to get Kara's heart, because the good Kara, to get her heart to save the evil Supergirl, because she absorbed too much solar radiation. And also, they got that shit from, right? Straight from the New 52. When New 52 Superman absorbed too much solar radiation, he would let off a supernova. They would pretty much incinerate everything, but it didn't kill him. So I guess they just added that it would kill her. But that's where they got that from, if you don't already know. But I just didn't like the relationship. Now, it could have been like, oh, she's still coming there for the heart, but you could have left that relationship out of there. That to me really. You talking about Dark Oliver and Supergirl? Yeah, and the evil Super. That to me didn't add anything to me. It didn't really add anything. It could have still been, okay, we still got to save the general. She's the general. Of course, she's gonna want to save herself. That could have been your other reason. It could have been your other motive without the relationship being there. I mean, these characters are supposed to be evil. Fuck that love stuff. They're supposed to be evil. They're not supposed to be relatable. You're not supposed to even have an ounce of sympathy for them. So that whole relationship tried to add that. Why?
Yep, it made Eobard look like a schmuck, like a lackey.
Yeah.
Which he's never, ever been on any of these shows. Never been a lackey, and you're telling me,
Yeah.
as smart as he is, he came unprepared to take on Supergirl. I mean, take on the evil Supergirl, just in case things went south. You remember that scene where Arrow had Oliver had the arrow to him, and he was vibrating his hand, and then Supergirl came up and grabbed his hand, and was threatening to break it and shit. And I'm like, look, Eobard, first of all, he would have easily just either killed Oliver or just got away from him with ease.
Yeah.
You're telling me he couldn't just fucking,
especially seeing him running the show with season 2 of Legends, where he was running the show on that. Like, he had Damian Dark and Malcolm Merlin in line. So, yeah, and I assumed he had like a different motive. So I kind of thought he was gonna like stab him in the back at some point, but that never happened. That would have been cool. That would have fit into his character. He's a slime ball. He can't be trusted, and he didn't do shit. He didn't do anything. You expecting him to do that, and it would have just added to you're supposed to hate the villains.
Could at least let him be the one to kill Stein.
Exactly. They needed someone. It's just a random Nazi number 5 killed Stein. Yeah, it had weight because that side was responsible for his death, so it kind of gave characters motivation to pretty much beat him. But it should have been one of those 3. Should have been it should have been Evil Oliver. It should have been Evil Supergirl or Eobard. It would have had more weight if it was one of them. Like, he gets hit with an arrow or whatever. He ends up dying. But because it wasn't like that, it had weight. It had the emotion there. But it was just a random Nazi. I think that as good as that part was, they missed the opportunity to really, to really push that particular scene. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of missteps, man. A lot of stuff that they missed on. A lot of stuff that just shouldn't have been there. And we talked about it. I said it was episode 4. It was actually episode 3 because it reminded me of it. Was with they first revealed Earth X's version of Captain Cold, and the character is ruined now. If you heard me talk about it earlier, the character is ruined.
Yep.
I don't want to see. I don't care what you say. I don't want to see dudes kissing on TV. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see that on the show that I watch. Just I stopped watching Arrow because that Arrow had the Mr. Terrific crap and him doing all that. They dialed back on that.
They got rid of it 100% actually.
Gone. No mention of him or relationships or none of that shit. Nobody wants to see that. To be honest, and honestly they focus way too much on relationships. If it's whoever, focus way too much on it. And I think they could have focused on it less and focused more on taking out the bad guy. I think they needed to do a little bit more to really cement that we hate you. Not we hate you just because you're potentially gonna destroy. I think, like we said with the Stein thing, I think they should have did more with that. I think I thought they should have done more when they were in the prison. I thought honestly, I thought somebody should have got tortured or something. I thought they should have added something in there. They would add they just torture someone just cause they're Nazis. Who cares? That's what they do. But that was gone there. So another way to to add that extra tension to the show, gone, missed. And this one had so much potential, all gone, thrown away, with just how poorly it was handled. And honestly, it doesn't bode too well for specifically Arrow. Flash has been mediocre most of this season, and the one episode that we said was really good was the one where it focused on a character who hasn't been getting focused on this season, Cisco. So many of those characters that they were thrown into the background. Felicity and Iris should not be seen more than Cisco. Should not be seen more than Joe. I think there's a better characters. Diggle, like we said, Diggle should have been there. Yeah, he had an excuse, but so what? Fate of the world. Get your ass over there. They bring him. They insult us by bringing him there at the end. Insulting. Dude could have fought, man.
Prometheus could have at least been evil Diggle instead of Tommy Merlin. Like,
yeah,
I would have taken that.
I didn't mind too much Tommy Merlin.
No, I didn't mind it, but if it was evil Diggle,
yeah, I think they still could have like done that, like still have him there. But they, it was just a bunch of missed opportunities, a bunch of characters that I felt as though some of there were some moments like I wanted to see how Vixen would have reacted to seeing Supergirl's powers or seeing Flash's powers. I don't think she's ever seen interacted with Flash before this crossover, or the other girl who apparently now just magically got dressed up so they could go fight. She didn't look too bad though, so I'll give her that. I want to see, because the whole thing about his interaction with the characters, I wanted to see them interact with Supergirl. Because you remember how Diggle interacted, or everybody else interacted with Supergirl when they first saw her, and they had like the little training thing where she just whooped all their fucking asses. Like, what was that? That was one of the things that made that crossover particularly good. And it was something else that they really missed on was, all these characters, the characters that they did show have seen each other. Outside of Supergirl's stepsister or whatever. That was her first time really crossing over. So the only person she knew at the time was Barry. The only person she really knew was Barry. So, and you could have done a lot more. I think it was just big time disappointment. And the way the story ended, kind of how we expected. They beat the bad guys, blah blah blah. Only show that really has consequences from what happened in this is Legends, because they did lose a member. The rest of the shows, and Flash didn't affect it at all. Now, obviously, they're gonna talk about things that happened because it did happen. It did happen in Central City, so of course they're gonna talk about it. In terms of like the news gonna affect the city or whatever, but nothing big for the main characters. Arrow. It can only go down because of the relationship garbage.
Oh, we're about to go down.
It can only go down because of this relationship garbage. But if I had to grade the show, grade this little crossover thing, I'm sitting at about a 6, and I think that's generous for me because I was legit about to turn this shit off because of all the things we've said. So I'm gonna go 6. Ooh, 6. No, I'm going 5. 5. It was so much garbage, so much. Like, I don't even feel that Caitlyn did a lot. I like that character. Another character that didn't do nothing, just so they can push Iris and Felicity on us. Two characters that people, especially Felicity, she drew the ire of fans years ago. But yeah, I'm sticking with 5. What do you think?
Going 4.
4? I know he's gonna probably go one lower than me.
I'm going 4. Arrow's done for. They're done for with me. And the thing with Arrow, the season itself wasn't necessarily the greatest. I mean, it's been better because they had dialed back on Felicity, and Diggle was the front man at this point, and even though they really haven't announced like the big villain of Arrow, it's been a lot closer to what it used to be than what it recently has been. But now you already see where it's going.
Man, fuck that. I'm going 4. Oh man, you brought up like nightmares of trying to grit your teeth through because you were Like, because Arrow's a show that I watched every single episode, like, up until, even bad as season 3 was, I watched every episode of season 3. Then we got to season 4, and that shit was, you try to grit your teeth through it, and just like, fuck it, I'm done. And that shit was garbage.
Yep.
And they fall into the same thing.
Felicity, worst character on DC TV right now.
I honestly think for both companies, for Netflix, Marvel, and DC TV, all the fucking shows, she's one of the worst characters.
She's the worst.
Yeah,
I can't think of anybody worse.
What about Karen from
Not even close to Felicity.
Yeah,
that's they worlds apart right there. So Arrow's headed in a horrible direction. Yep. Legends,
I think Legends can still be really good.
Yeah, Legends is going to be Legends. We'll see what they do with that. Flash, I can't with the Iris thing. It's too much. It's just way too much. Like, this is the equivalent of them having a Justice League team up, and Iris is sitting there calling shots.
Fuck, man.
Like, well, why are you here?
And what they've been doing with Joe, and the fact that we didn't see, I can't remember Homeboy's name. The guy that stressed. What's his name? What is his name?
Oh, Ralph Denby.
Why was he not in the crossover?
Yeah,
he would have been. He would have been that character to interact with Supergirl, because he would have probably fucking. He probably would have told her measurements or some shit like he did to Caitlyn. Like,
yep.
Where was that? What the fuck was that? Where was him like flirting with all the chicks or whatever?
Oh, there was that nod to. I don't know if they were during the wedding the first time. The girl who had brought them something to drink.
Who is that?
It's either daughter or granddaughter. It's one of the two, though.
Whose?
Flash, Barry, and Iris.
That's what I was thinking about. To me, honestly, the mystery with that was better than a lot of the shit that was going on in the goddamn crossover. I was like, who the fuck is that? She was so nervous. I thought she was like kind of like flirting with him, or she liked him or whatever. But nah, I was like, okay, she's someone else.
Yeah, I think that's it's either going to be their daughter from the future or granddaughter, one of the two.
Yeah, so that the mystery behind
that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I think the mystery behind that is definitely gonna be really big. But Legends the only show that I think coming out of this really could what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen to Firestorm? The characters. Nothing really big happened in terms of relationships with the characters. Those characters really focused on. It was really focused on the story with them. It wasn't never focused on any couples or anything. Not some of the other characters ended up showing late in the crossover. So I think that show is probably going to be better off because they're going to be dealing with Stein's death. I think that show's going to be better off after this crossover. Other shows, Supergirl's probably going to stay where it's at. Really nothing important really happened. Flash, good. They keep doing the shit they're doing, which it seems like they are. Probably going to keep going downhill. And Arrow's about to take a nosedive. Yeah.
Once again, they killed off Black Canary, the one who Oliver marries in the comics, to put him with Felicity.
Yeah. I remember we used to complain about that kid. Like, they need to do something else with it, but not kill her.
Yeah.
They need to go another direction with the character.
Yeah, the way they were writing her was becoming annoying. But they didn't need to kill her off.
Yeah.
So they messed up with that. Supergirl's probably about to butcher Rain, which is one of Supergirl's greatest villains. I don't like the girl playing Rain. Like, as a character, she's cool, but her actually playing Rain, I don't like that.
I think I need to see that episode.
So it looks like they're about to butcher that.
Oh, you saw what they did with Metallo? What was that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And I'll say this now. Flash, they need a speedster. They need a speedster villain.
Yeah, because this villain got boring.
DeVoe, comic-wise, one of Flash's greatest villains, but on screen, he doesn't do anything but sit in a chair. Like, and I know most of us, are pretty tired of speedster villains after the first few seasons, and we're like, okay, let's go in a different direction. There's two problems with that. Number one, they threw away all of their great villains, their rogue gallery, on just single episodes.
Weather Wizard, Mirror Master. Mirror Master was just like some dude in a suit. He's just like some random thief who ended up getting powers. Last I checked, Mirror Master didn't have no goddamn powers, if I recall in the comics. Does he have powers? I don't think he does. I think it's all technology, if I remember correctly. But, thrown in the background. Weather Wizard, they did have that one episode where Flash had to run back in time, but other than that, nope, we're thrown in the background again.
And so, they threw their villains away in a single episode, and then just on screen wise, Flash running around trying to save metas ain't really cutting it. Like, we need to see him fighting somebody, and you gotta have speedsters for that.
Yeah.
So they're really missing speedsters on that show. And I get they try to stick with some of the villains from the comics, but even if you got to create a speedster, at this point, I'm down for it.
Yep. Because look at all the changes to Savitar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Savitar and Zoom.
Yeah.
They combined 2 people for Zoom. So
Zoom in the comic books wasn't technically like a speedster. He could manipulate time around himself.
Yeah, they combined Zolomon and him together. So
they should have split those up so they could use one. They should have split those up, honestly.
So Flash is desperately missing. And on top of that, like, Thinker as a villain, he's really not. He's not what you would call imposing to Flash. Like, if I'm Flash, and when I find out it's him, I'm just beating over to the crib and punching him in the face. He's sitting in a chair.
Yeah, I'm vibrating my hand straight through his chest. I'm like, okay, you know I'm coming. Fuck you gonna do?
At least with the speedster, not only have the speedsters who's been on the show been smart, so they challenge him that way, but they challenge him physically too with their speed as well. Mm-hmm. That's why Grodd was so great. He's challenging mentally and physically. And so I think, if we could get Grodd for a season, that would be great. It would just cost too much. King Shark, we had a King Shark appearance, but threw him away again too.
Yeah. It was also, they kind of like make a little joke of them talking about the wedding while he's fighting them. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So, like you said, Legends the only one that's in good shape going forward.
Yep. It'll definitely be. I'm going to check out some of these other ones, but this mid-season finale is going to be really big for him. Bigger than people think. At least going forward to the second half of the seasons for each one. So let me check out the mid-season finales for most of these series, just to see how this crossover event really affected it. But looking at it, I honestly could see myself stop watching some of this shit outside of maybe Legends. And that's crazy because Flash has been, at least his first 2 seasons. First 2 seasons were great. Third season has had its ups and downs, but it turned out to be pretty good. But this season, it's pretty much following suit with Arrow. Pretty much. Arrow, first 2 seasons great. Third season okay. Fourth season garbage. And Flash is really following that.
Yeah. Why is he the leader of everything they do when they do crossovers?
Who?
Arrow.
I guess because he's battle. He makes plans or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool and everything, but everybody they battle is alien or has powers, and he don't. I'm just saying.
Wasn't his doppelganger self like the leader? Well, yeah. At least the one making all the plans. Yeah, I don't get it. Supergirl, wasn't she like higher ranking? That the evil Supergirl, wasn't she higher ranking than that Oliver was?
Mm-hmm.
She's a fucking general. Well, yeah. I think we buried this trash enough. We're definitely gonna come back to talk about, I guess, how the I don't know if we want to do a mid-season finale one. You want to do a mid-season finale one?
That's cool with me.
Okay, yeah, we can come back. If it's trash, we're gonna let you know. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You know, we talked about this, everything we hated. Let us know what you think down in the comment section. You know, MG, go ahead and plug your stuff.
Twitter, I'm at Virtuoso Sports, and then during the week, I'm on BlitzSportsNetwork.com.
And you can find me on Twitter, Calvin Philpott, Philpott with 2 T's. And you know where to find me on YouTube. You're watching my damn video right now, so just go ahead and subscribe. So we can, you know, we do all this comic stuff. We talk about the shows. We talk about the movies. We cover it. And we're not going to sugarcoat it. If it's trash, it's trash. If it's good, it's good. You know, that's just simply how we do it. You know, like this video, that thumbs up button, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out.